noticed something kind of embarrassing recently. I kept saying that I wanted to read more. And I was just thinking like I don't have enough time to read more. But then I would pick up my phone just for a second, open Instagram or TikTok out of habit, and then suddenly 30 minutes were gone, sometimes more. And the worst part was I wasn't even having fun the whole time. I wasn't watching something I was excited about. I wasn't learning something super interesting. I wasn't even really choosing what I was looking at. It was just my algorithm, and I was just scrolling through it. And then I'd look up and feel like, how did I even get here? So I decided I wanted to test something really simple. What would happen if I swapped some of my screen time for reading time, but not in an extreme way? I'm not deleting the apps on my phone. I'm not throwing my phone into the ocean. I'm not suddenly becoming a perfectly disciplined person who wakes up at 5 a.m. and reads classic literature by candlelight. That is just not my thing. I just wanted to see if I could make reading easier to choose than scrolling, because I think that's the real problem. It's not always that I don't want to read. I mean, let's be real. I always want to read, but my phone is right there and my book isn't. So the first thing I'm doing is making my current read impossible to ignore. I'm putting it somewhere I know I'll see it, not tucked away on a shelf or under a pile of other books, not in a random tote bag that I forgot existed, or where it usually lives on my nightstand. I need it to be visible because apparently I need to be reminded that I am in fact reading a book more than just before bedtime. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's true. I'll genuinely forget that picking up my book is an option, but I'll somehow remember to check the same app 27 times. So this is the swap. Every time I catch myself reaching for my phone out of habit, I'm going to pause and ask, do I actually want to be on my phone right now, or am I just bored? And if I'm just bored, I'm going to read one page, just one, because read for an hour feels like a whole commitment that I don't have time for. But one page, that feels doable. And usually once I read one page, I'll read another. And that's the trick that works. Another thing, I don't realize how much time passes when I'm scrolling. It's not like I pick up my phone and think, I would now like to donate the next 42 minutes of my life to random content I won't even remember. It just happens. I check one thing, then another thing, then suddenly I'm watching a video from someone I don't follow about a topic I don't even care about. But with reading, time feels different. It feels slower in a good way. And I actually notice what I'm doing. The hardest part is just starting. It's like drinking water. Once I walk around with my Stanley everywhere, I will drink 2 of those babies. And once I see the book, pick it up, and read a page, my attention starts to settle. My mood will change too. Scrolling makes me feel restless, and afterwards I'm like, what a waste of time that was. Reading makes me feel like I'm doing something more productive, even if it is. And I'm not saying that in a dramatic, books fixed my entire life way. I still like my phone. I still like social media. Hello, we are here together. But I don't like feeling like I disappeared into it by accident. So having the book visible is helping because it interrupts the habit. It gives me this tiny moment where I can choose differently instead of automatically unlocking my phone. I see the book and I think, oh yeah, I'm reading that. And that reminder is doing more for me than just telling myself to have more discipline. So the way I carry around the Stanley to drink more water, I'm gonna carry my book around everywhere. Because discipline, it's not always reliable, but making the better option easier, that actually helps. So by the end of this little experiment, I didn't magically become a person who never scrolls, but my screen time did go down. And I read more than I usually would have. Not because I forced myself into some intense reading challenge, but because I made reading more visible. I actually learned this when it comes to clothes and picking out clothes. from a closet organizer. If you don't see it, you forget about it. So I made it the easier thing to do. And that's kind of the whole point. If you want to read more, I can't just hope I'll magically remember to choose my book that usually sits on my nightstand after my brain has already fallen into the social media trap. I need the book to be in front of me before the habit takes over. So I'm keeping my current read where I can see it. It is traveling around the house with me now. And the next time I reach for my phone, just because I'm bored or just a habit I didn't even realize, it's almost like a subconscious thing now, I'm going to try reading one page first because one page is small, but it's still more reading than I would have done while scrolling. So tell me if this habit is one you're going to start or if you have another one that I can stack onto this one. Because if you know about habits, you know about habit stacking. Reading habits are kind of my love language, so let me know how you read more.